Welcome back to the Gallant Goblin. My name is Theo. In our last video, we wanted to compare the minis from the Monster Menagerie 3 set of Dungeons & Dragons minis to those from the Storm King's Thunder set. You can see that video if you click in the eye in the corner. When we were making the video, we wanted to have a box of each of the minis to show you, and my collection of Storm King Thunder minis was old and I didn't have a box anymore. So we decided to go out to the local game stores around town to try to find a new box of Storm King's Thunder minis to show you. And so we went to the first store and they didn't have any, but they had some other ones. And they were very nice to us at the store. So we decided that, you know, even though they didn't have what we wanted, we would pick up some other minis there. And then we went to another store and they were also really nice to us. And so we decided, they did have our Storm King's Thunder minis, and we decided just to get a couple of those too. So we ended up getting a couple of random boxes of minis and decided, well, we have these minis, why don't we go ahead and do another little unboxing video. I swear this channel is not going to be entirely just me unboxing minis, although that sounds okay to me. Maybe you want a little bit more variety. But today we're just going to open a couple boxes of minis, take a look at them and see what we get. Just a fun video. So we have some Storm King's Thunder minis. We have one from Tomb of Annihilation, and we have one of the original Monster Menagerie 1 set. So let's see what we have. I'm going to start over here. And I've already taken the tape off. Let's see what's inside. I've got most of the Storm King's Thunder minis, so I'm expecting a bunch of duplicates, so I'm not going to be too disappointed. But let's take a look. I have so many stone giants, it's just ridiculous. But we've got another one. So I think my campaign that I'm running now for Storm King's Thunder is just going to have to go invade a stone giant stronghold somewhere and have to wipe it out. Actually, the stone giants is the one giant they haven't actually encountered in my adventure, but there we go. We've got another stone giant here. As far as the little ones go, just to note, because we've had questions, these close-ups that you're seeing are close-ups that we filmed of the exact same minis that we've taken out of the boxes. This is a Yochlol. One I already had, but these are cool. These are fiends who can shapeshift into drow or spiders. I think they're usually like spies or henchmen for the Spider Queen. So anything you're playing in the Abyss or related to the Spider Queen, you can use these. They're just fun. And let's see what we have here. This is an Azer. Azers are fire elementals that are encased in this armor that makes them look like dwarves, and these are expert craftspeople. They show up mainly, I think, in the elemental plane of fire, but if you have a character, an NPC, who wants to craft a particularly interesting or intricate magical item, you could have them like go on a mission to the fire plane and find an Azer and convince it to create the item for you. It could be a really useful little side quest, something fun to incorporate into your game. And our last little mini here is one of the little ones. It looks to me like one of the little, what are they called? Intellect Devourers. So little brains on legs. So these are also very cute and can be fun in a campaign. So that's our first set. Let's see what we have next. Let's push these to the side a little bit. Let's do another storm. Oh, this one's heavy. So when I did find a box, that second store I went to, they had quite a few boxes of the Storm King's Thunder minis, and I decided to get the heaviest one because that's what I always do. So let's see what we have here. This was the heaviest one I had before. King Hekaton. I'm actually really glad I got this because when I was making that last video, I realized that my King Hekaton had broken. He has a scepter that has a cloud effect on it, and mine had broken off, and I tried to super glue it back together and didn't do a perfect job of it. So I'm quite happy to get a new one with his scepter, which is in one of these little pouches here, and we'll look at that. But I mean, King Hekaton is an amazing mini. It's probably one of the best ones in this set, so you really can't go wrong. I think it's actually one of the more expensive ones if you buy it on the aftermarket as well. Where is his little mace? His little scepter. Oh, it's here. So yeah, be careful how you store your minis. I keep mine in several different little plastic boxes, and I thought I was storing them pretty well, but apparently not well enough. So if you can keep some of these a little bit separate so they don't jostle in the boxes and break, you'll be better off than I was. But there he is. Very impressive guy. So I guess in my campaign, there's going to be 2 King Hekatons. His evil twin, possibly. You know, a little twist on our adventure. We'll find out. Let's see what else we have in here. Oh no, I don't have this one yet, so that's exciting. This is a Thri-kreen. Thri-kreen are these insect-like nomadic creatures who live in the desert or the grasslands. They don't communicate with words. They use their little mandibles and antennas to make clicking sounds. And so if you venture into the desert, these are great creatures to have harass your party a little bit. Let's see what else we have. I do have one of these, and I'm happy to have as many as possible because I will just put giant frogs all over my shelves back here because they're cute and they're frogs and I like frogs. This is nice if you have people who summon creatures, summon, I think, Fae as well. I think the giant frog can show up. I'm not entirely sure, but I think that's generally where you would encounter these in the game, is if they were summoned by one of your druids or other magic users. So they're super cute. I'm happy with that. And speaking of Fae creatures, another Sprite, which I have already, but that's fine. Sprites are fun to add to your game as well. Maybe I'll just have to make a little excursion to the Feywild again for my campaign so that they can encounter my new minis. Our last box of Storm King's Thunder. Not as heavy. It looks like we have another Fire Giant. So we were talking about this in our last video, showing you the various Fire Giants we have. Fire Giants have gotten a lot of love in these minis. There's quite a few in the collection. This one's mace is a little bit straighter than my last one's, so that's good. Oh, the one I showed actually on the last video had the hammer, so this time you get to see the one with the mace, so that's good. It's a good mini. I can't complain about that. What is this one called? Darkmantle. These are Underdark or Shadowfell creatures, and they cling to the cave ceilings, and then when the party ventures underneath them, they swoop down and they swallow up their heads and start to crush on them and suffocate them. So a great way to ambush your party. Looks like we might have another Thri-kreen here. Indeed. I think it is exactly the same as the last one. Which is fine. They have so many arms you probably can't even tell if they're the same. But there we go. Now we have a better encounter coming up in the desert. Our last one in this set is another Intellect Devourer. So we're getting a lot of little duplicates. I mean, that's the issue when you get the booster boxes outside of the cases and outside of the bricks, is that you have no promises on not getting a lot of duplicates. So that's fine. That's what we were expecting. So those are our Storm King's Thunder minis. Storm King Thunder minis. Let's look in the other boxes here. This box is the original Monster Menagerie, which came out in 2016, I believe. I've never bought a box of the original Monster Menagerie. I've just bought a few of the individual minis on the aftermarket, so my first booster for this set. I'm a little excited. It's very light, though. And of course, the main one is one that I did buy on the aftermarket. I had a desperate need for a Yeti a while ago, and I think it never actually showed up when I thought it was going to. So I bought a Yeti on one of the online stores. I actually think the Yeti is a great creature to be an introduction to some of the mechanics of the game for a low-level party, because it has this chilling gaze that you can use to paralyze players, but it also lets the players experiment with different types of attacks. Like, they might learn that it's immune to cold damage, but it's afraid of fire damage, and so they kind of get some of these other mechanics that they might want to experiment with and see how they work. And it's a great way to introduce that concept. It's a nice mini. If you're up north and you need a Yeti, let's see what else we have. Oh, this looks nice. This is just an imp. These are evil little devil creatures. They can polymorph into rats or ravens or spiders. They can also turn invisible. They're really prevalent if your party is going into the lower planes. What is this here? I think this is just an orc. That's a good orc, though. You can never have too many orcs. I bought one of these also in the aftermarket because this particular orc I thought was really nice. I mean, it's fairly generic looking, but it's got a nice paint job, I think, and he's a imposing fellow. So another good orc from my collection. I'll add him to my bag of 10 orcs that I have in my closet. All right. This is a Githyanki Warrior. They introduced the Gith as a playable race in Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, which came out recently. There's two types of Gith. You have the Githyanki, who are the militaristic and evil kind of Gith, and then you have the Githzerai, who are more pacifistic isolationists. They all hate the Mind Flayers. I won't go into their whole history now, but this is a mini that you could use as a monster they encounter or also as a player character if someone wants to play a Gith. Tomb of Annihilation. I bought a few of these boosters just because it looked like a fun one and it was new, but let's see what we have here. I think I see a theme going on here. This is a Girallon. These guys, you can find them in the forest, the rainforests, particularly in Cholt. They roam the forest and they sometimes hunt in packs. I think they serve the Yuan-ti as guards in some areas. And I believe you can actually raise one of these as a pet if you find it as a youngster. Could be an interesting thing for your characters to do if they have that desire. What else do we have here? Oh, we've got the animal characters coming out today. A Werebear with a hammer. That's just amazing. I really like this one. I have to find some use for a Werebear. I'm going to have him team up with the Werebore that I got in the last set, and we can have a good time with that. That's an amazing looking mini. I like that. Next. Oh yeah, I found another teammate. It's called an Aldani, our lobster creature. It's a were-lobster. I'm just going to say it's a were-lobster. And he's going to go on an adventure with my Werebore and my Werebear. Or maybe I'll just, when I play D&D next time, I'm going to have a player characters that are all were creatures, and we're just going to go with that. So that's very awesome too. And finally we have a very small one. Zorbo. These are ferocious, man-eating koala bears with claws that can really mess up a character's magical items. So, you know, just like regular koala bears. Well, that's what we got in our little excursion out into our friendly local game stores here in town. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on the Gallant Goblin.